Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Thanks for joining us on this quick lesson on the top 10 gig-ready chord forms for blues guitar. There's a PDF that goes along with this, so make sure and download that. The link for that is in the YouTube description down below. Let's go ahead and start diving right into this great content. Blues. When I'm doing blues on guitar and I'm doing rhythm stuff, and I'm trying to back up somebody. Now, we're not talking about solo, we were talking about kind of the rhythm part of it. I use specific chord forms that are used a lot throughout blues. So that's what we're going to get into. Take a look at that first page of the PDF. I've grouped these into chords that are based on a 5th string root, chords that are based on a 6th string root, and chords that are based on a 4th string root. So we have some high ones, we have some low ones. I said 10, but it's probably a lot more than that I have included in here. But I just wanted to dive in and show you how these work. So take a look at the first one there. This is the C7. Now when you see a diamond in that chord block, that means it's the root, and it's movable. So if here's the C, there's the C, and there's the C7. If I wanted to move that up here to E, I'd put my 3rd finger at the E, and I've got the E7. Now, I'm not using the 6th string, I'm not using the 1st string, so it's just the inside 4 strings, but it has a root on the 5th string there. It's a great little dominant 7th, it's very stable. It is, you can use it for the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord. It's a good meaty mid-range voicing for this. Another option for that, if I wanted to do more accompaniment for it and just simplify it a little bit more, is just do the 3-note version of this. So instead of having my 3rd finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger, and 1st, I'm going to switch it to where it's just my 2nd finger, 1st finger, and 3rd finger right there. And again, that 5th string note at the 3rd fret is the root. There's that. So it's sounds a little bit different than the full C7 when I'm just using the bottom 3. Take a look at the next one. I'm going to add a note to it, and that's going to make it a C9. So it gets a little bit more of adds a little bit of color to the blues chord shape. So I've got this 2nd finger on the root, and I come back here and I add my pinky. What I've added with my pinky is the note D, which in a C7 chord is the 2nd or the 9th. So we've got the 9th here. If I put my pinky out a half step, I get a C7 sharp 9. Now, this works best over the 5 chord. All the rest of them work great over the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord, but if I'm in the key of C, F, now here's the 5 chord, and I'm going to use that sharp 9. Very jazzy form, very blues sort of form. Stevie Ray Vaughan used this form a lot when he was in the key of E. You heard a lot of that 7 sharp 9 form and color that goes with it. Now you can use that on the 1, but it sounds a little bit too bluesy for that. I would use it primarily on the 5 chord if I'm doing a blues. Remember, a blues is a 3 chord 12 bar form, but remember there's only 3 chords that are being used, the 1, the 4, and the 5. Take a look at the next form on this one. Ooh, what do we have here? This is a dominant 13th form. Ooh, don't let that throw you. I've got my 1st finger on the 5th string. I've got my 3rd finger on the 4th string at the 2nd fret, pinky on the 3rd string at the 2nd fret, and then my 2nd finger really squeezed underneath there on the 2nd string at the 1st fret. Now it sounds a little muddy when played down there, but if I use it a little bit more in the middle range of the instrument, it gets a really sweet, jazzy sort of sound. Notice the root is on the highest note. So we had the root as the lowest pitch. On this one, I've got my root as the highest pitch. So there you go. There's 5 classic forms with the 5th string root. I've got the basic one. If I did just the 3-note version. If I did the 9th, listen to how they sound differently. I've got the C7 sharp 9, which sounds particularly good over the 5 chord in the key of C. And that sounds good for that. That's the C7 sharp 9. I also have the last one there is the C13. F13th right there with the root as the highest pitch. All right, now there are a couple of other options there. Look at the line below that. You have your regular old C7. That works right over the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, playing all the way down to the 1st string on that. And again, all of these are movable. None of these have any open strings, so if it doesn't have any open strings, it's movable, depending on where that root is, that's why the note that has the diamond around it is the root. So in this one, there's a C. If I wanted that to be an E flat, I just go C, C sharp, D, E flat, and there I'm up for that. Let's talk about this next one, an E minor 7th flat 5. All right, what's going on here? Let's dive into theory world for a second. Just dip our toe in one of the most convenient chord substitutions for blues that is used in blues all the time. So over a C7th, what notes are in a C7th or even a C9th? It'd be a C, an E, a G, a B flat. If I went up to the 9th, it'd be a D. C, E, G, B flat, D. Well, wait a minute. If I took the C out, I'm left with E, G, B flat, and D. That is, not kind of like, that is an E minor 7 flat 5 or an E half diminished. Both names are referring to the same chord. So over a C7 or a C9, I can substitute an E minor 7 flat 5. Don't believe me? Hear how it sounds. This is the C7. Here's the E minor 7 flat 5. A very sound they use it all the time in blues, is that sort of mid-range version. And what I'm playing, you have to do a little bit of calculation here. Over a C7, I'm going to be playing, I go up 2 whole steps, C to D, D to E, and do the minor 7 flat 5, and that gets me this chord substitution for a C9th. If I was on an let's say an F9th, what would I do? Or an F7, I go up 2 whole steps from that, F, G, A, and lay my minor 7 flat 5 on it, and it sounds fantastic. A great chord substitution that you can use for blues. All right, so we've covered some 5th string versions of it. Let's look around and get to some other versions. You'll notice there's a blue box at the bottom of page 1. I just had some open voicings there, maybe an open E7 and an open A7. Those sound great when I'm in the key of E. Those are just open chords. There's not very many of them that work open, so I just didn't know where else to put them, so I just kind of grouped them in on that first page. Great chords for that. All right, so now let's switch from the 5th string roots. We're going to switch to the 4th string root, or excuse me, the 6th string root. So let's take a look at a few that involve the 6th string. We're going to switch these to the key of F. So the most basic one is this little F7 top chord there on page 2. I've got my first finger on the 6th string. You'll notice there's the diamond, that's the root. And then I skip the 5th string. I let my first finger just kind of touch that 5th string, so it mutes it out. Second finger's on the E flat on the 4th string. The A is with my 3rd finger on the 3rd string. And I'm not playing the 1st or 2nd string, and I'm muting out that 5th string. chord. It's very stable. It's great for rhythm guitar. It's a little bit lower, so we're talking about lower voiced chords, but it sounds great in blues. Take a look at the next one. Well, if I wanted to get a little more involved, I could use an F7. A full F7, or actually this is the 3-note version, this is the 4-note version, and we're eventually going to get to the full bar here. So if I switch my fingers around, have my first finger, second finger, pinky, and then third finger, I end up with this F7 there. Again, works great on the 1, the 4, or even the 5. Here's the 3-note version. Here's the 4-note version. Hear the difference? I can use, let me let you in behind the curtain here for a second. If it's an F7, I can use any combination of those notes and it's going to work great. So like I could just use maybe just these top 3 notes, these ones here. So any of the, maybe I could just use 2 notes. So any part of those works. Now, let's kind of drop down, get into some basics here. I've been saying 1, 4, and 5. What exactly am I meaning? Well, in any key, there is a certain grouping of chords. In blues, they only use, there's 7 in any key, but in the blues, they only use 3 chords. The chord that's built off of the first step of the scale, let's say I'm in the key of C, that would be a C. And we're going to add dominant 7ths to them. We're going to add 7ths to them all since it's kind of get a bluesy sound. So a C 7th would be the 1 chord in the key of C. If I wanted to know what the 4 chord is, I count up the C scale, C, D, E, F, and an F would be the 4 chord. The 5th chord would be C, D, E, F, G. That would be a G. So the 1, 4, and 5 chord in the key of C are C is the 1, F is the 4 chord, G is the 5. If you're a little fuzzy on what notes they are and how scales work and things like that, I did a wonderful, it's a playlist now, but it was a whole series that we did way back in COVID days when we had all the time in the world. I did a series, it's all free, you can look it up on YouTube, called How Music Works. How Music Works. And it takes you through what notes are in each key, what notes are in each scale, how you build these chords, and things like that. It's very in-depth. It's very elaborate. I think we had to end up with a 30-page PDF by the time we were done with that. It's all free. There's workouts that go along with it as well. If you're interested, I'll put the link in the YouTube description down below. It's in one of our playlists called How Music Works. Okay, so we've got, getting back to these chords, we have the 3-note version, we have the 4-note version. If I do the full bar there, now I'm using all 6 strings. There you go. Look at the last one there. If I wanted to be a little bit more elaborate, a little bit more colorful with my chords, I can do maybe an F13th. So here, I switch my fingers around, still have the root. So here, there's the F, I have an E flat, an A, and then D, which is the 13th. These color tones, the 9th, the 13th, things like that, sharp 9, all of those sound best voiced higher in your chord voicing than lower. We can voice them lower, it just doesn't sound as good. So we try and voice these color tones as the highest or one of the higher notes in our voicing. So there's an F13th. It can be used on the 1, the 4, the 5. Take a look at the next one. Here's the blues chords. We've talked about ones built on the 5th string. We've talked about ones built on the 6th string. Now let's talk about ones built on the 4th string. Look at this F7 here. I've got the diamonded note. That's the high F. Remember, so I've got a little bar here. And if I move that, there would be a G7 because here's the root. So instead of the root being the lowest tone, I've got the root as the highest tone of this. Hey, does that look familiar? That's just the top 4 notes of the F7, the third one over on the top line. This is just the top 4 strings. What about this one? Oh, an F13th. Well, hey, that's the top 3 notes of the F13th on the top line. But look, we've kind of had to switch our fingers around. This is the second one over on number 2. This is the middle line there, page 2. So I've got my first finger here, the E flat, the A, the D, and I've got a G here. But wait a minute. This is an F13th, but it doesn't have an F in it. This is a rootless chord voicing. What that means is it is a chord, but it's rootless. It does not have the root. So the notes in an F13th are F, A, C, E flat, G, and a D. Yes, there you go. Okay? Well, if I take everything away, I take the F away, and I take the C away, and I'm left with just the other notes that are involved, and I end up with this F13th. So how do you then relate it to what you're trying to do? Well, remember the F is still underneath right there. So it's actually on your first finger there if I continued the bar down. So that's kind of how I remember it. There would be a B flat 13th. There would be a C 13th. It's a very colorful version. Works great on the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, and it is a rootless voicing. Don't let that throw you. I don't have to play the root all the time as a guitar player. That's what the bass player gets paid big bucks to do. He plays the root all night long. I can just play all the other fun stuff, the other color tones in this, and it sounds just great. The third one over here. Oh, what do we have here? We've got an F13. So if I just take my pinky off and I leave the bar down there, then I'm an F13th with the F as the highest note. Now, just like we did before, where I go up 2 whole steps and play a half diminished, I can do it with these 4-string versions as well. So in F, if I go up a whole step to G, whole step to A, then I end up with A, and I end up with a minor 7 flat 5. So over in F7. What is that? I switched to B flat, and I went up B flat, C, D, and did my voicing up here. You'll notice this is rootless as well. It does not have, let me get here back down here to the F7 one. This F13th, it does not have an F in there, but again, that's okay. Remember the bass player's down there going, great chord used all the time in blues guitar. I added one more here that I've been thinking about. This is an F9th, but it's way up here at the top of the neck. So I've got my pinky on the F on the first string at the 13th fret. I've got the flatted 7th E flat here, the G here with my second finger, first finger's on the A. A really good punchy form. If you want to have something that really sticks out when you're playing, you go for one of these high ones, and that F9th works great to work over an F7, anything like that. There I went from the F9th to this B flat 13th, which is a D minor 7 flat 5. Don't let all the names kind of confuse you with all of this. Here's how it works. If I have a 7th chord, I can elaborate a 7th chord and play a 9th chord, or a 13th. It's just kind of, think of it as adding more ornaments on the Christmas tree. I can also do this, go up 2 steps and play the minor 7 flat 5 chord substitution. So actually we've only talked about 2 ideas with all of these different forms. adding color tones. If it's an F7, I can make it an F9, I can make it an F13. And a one chord substitution, I go 2 whole steps up from the root, F, G, A, play a minor 7 flat 5, and it sounds great. So you don't need to worry about all the theory of all of that. Just kind of learn how I can use this form, 2 whole steps up from the root, and it sounds great. There you go. There's more than 10 blues chord forms there. Let's put these into some action. The standard blues chord progression is a 12-bar blues chord progression. Now, I know some of you may have heard me explain this 1,000 times, and we're kind of covering some of the basics here in this lesson. Of the 12-bar blues, remember that it's only using 3 chords. The 1 chord, the chord built off of the 1st step of the scale, the chord built off of the 4th step of the scale, and the chord built off of the 5th step of the scale. In this first example, I put them as Roman numerals to just make it easier to understand. So let's say if we are in the key of maybe G. The G chord would be the 1, G, A, B, C. The C chord would be the 4, and then it would be back to 1. So if I played this, if I do it in the key of G, look at the next one down there. Now I just put in these voicings in the key of G. I use the lower rhythm voicings. So let's hear how that sounds. So this is the bottom of page 3. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. And it goes the 5 chord, the 4 chord, the 1 chord. There you go. It's a 12-bar blues form. You are going to play that. If you're a guitar player, you're going to play that form 1,000 times. That's one of the main things. You get together with people, they're going to say, hey, what do you want to do? I don't know. Let's just do a blues. And they'll say, blues in G. And then you go and you start playing this pattern. It's the 1 chord. The second bar is the 4 chord. Then it's followed by 2 bars of the 1 chord. 1, 4, 1, 1. The second part of the song, the second 4 bars, is the 4-bar, 4 chord for 2 bars, and the 1 chord for 2 bars. The third line, the third part of the song, is a 5, a 4, and then 2 bars of 1. So that's the whole 12-bar form. If you're unsure about it, that's why I wrote it out there for you so you could understand. So those were lower voicings there. Flip over to page 4, and let's see if we can get some higher voicings. So now I'm going to do some of the higher voicings. So take a look at top of page 4. Let's see what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that minor 7 flat 5. Oh, great sounding options. They're all right there together, and they're a little bit higher voice. Let's see what else we do. Let's use some of the middle voicings. Well, what can we do? Well, for the G7, remember, we can go to the 2 steps up and do the minor 7 flat 5. So that's where this chord is. I could have written it as B minor 7 flat 5, but it's functioning as a G7, so I thought I would just write it as a G7. Then I'm going to use the C7, but I'm going to dress it up and make it a C9. Then back to the G7. Oh, what do we have down here on the last line? I've got a D7, C9. Hey, notice how I've got the highest note is that D, and it's the top note in those 3 chords. That creates a lot of continuity in your voicing. Hey, remember I said you can use that 7 sharp 9 on the 5 chord, which in the key of G would be a D, so it's a D7 sharp 9. Let's see how that sounds. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. you go, well, let's mix it all up. I'm going to play a blues in G, and I'm just going to use all of those voicings in various ways and see if we can make some magic here. 1, 2, 3. Let's do something high. There you go, a fun little lesson on the chords that are used a lot of times in blues guitar. We also have our fall fingerstyle retreat, which, hey, it's June. At first, fall was a long way away, and now we blinked, and now we're in June. So if you go to fingerstyleretreat.com, the dates for that are October 22nd through the 25th. If you're interested and you appreciate fingerstyle guitar and you would like to come to Nashville in the peak of fall colors and be sitting 5 feet away from some of the best fingerstyle guitar players on the planet, Brooks Robertson and Antoine Dufour, just amazing players. I'm going to be doing on one of the nights, and we're going to have some special guests that are going to sit in with our group. It's going to be amazing. The slots are filling up, so everything's paid for, all your meals, all your lodging. It's all paid for, and just get here to Nashville and you can be a part of our fall fingerstyle retreat. If you're interested, go to fingerstyleretreat.com, and slots are filling up. So if you're interested, don't wait too long because it sells out most years. I do have a couple of spots for some one-on-one lessons. What you need to do, if you're interested in getting a kind of Zoom lesson with me, just email me at service@guitargathering.com. and we can work out a time to do that. I've got a few time slots available, hour time slots, and if you're interested in maybe getting a tune-up on your technique, you're just sign up for a lesson, and I'll try and help you out any way I can, whatever style you're working on, whatever song you're working on, things like that, and I'll kind of show you what I see when we're doing lessons, and it is of great help to people. To get some outside opinions on what they're doing, and sometimes just the simplest thing can really help. Neil is asking, Steve, I was wondering if you could do a lesson or series on playing licks and fills in a band setting. Yes, I would love to do that. I did some lesson way back when about deriving licks from chords. For example, let's say I'm in G. Let's say the groove is... So if I wanted to do a little fill in between those chords, as Neil is saying, which a guitar player a lot of times is, we'll be just doing a little fill. So over that G chord, I can just do a little riff based on the notes of that chord. There's a G, there's a B, there's a D, there's a G. And let's say the next chord is that E minor. So in between that G and E minor, I could maybe go. So I did my notes of the chord, and then I slid up to one of the chord tones of the chord that's coming. So over that G to the E minor, G. What if I went to another note instead of the E? I went to maybe a B, because that's in the E minor as well. Let's see what that sounds like. 2, 3, G first. So all that worked. What if I did a little bit higher? Same lick. Just kind of a pentatonic scale, really. Where does it go to next? A minor. So I would do, if I was doing a little fill, I went from the A minor, which is the A, down to the F sharp of the D chord. So I'm going from one chord tone, walking my way through the scale, down to another chord tone in the new chord that's coming. I wish I could say it's a whole lot more elaborate than that, but that's basically all I'm thinking, is I'm going from one chord tone to another chord tone, and I'm working my way in between them and trying to generally be on the back half of the measure, because the front half is usually where the singer is singing their notes. So if I'm just doing fills, I don't want to be really busy. I want to just go from keynote to keynote. There's the D, D, F sharp, A, C. And I just hit it in 6. So I want to create a simple line that is moving between chord tones. That's what I'm doing. Peter's asking, do you also do hybrid picking blues? Well, yeah. Hybrid picking is just where you're using your pick, but you're also using your middle finger and your ring finger to fill in some of the other things. So I can do hybrid picking as well. That works just as well. Brian is saying, can you play a pentatonic scale over all these chords? Well, by golly, you could. Brian, now, you may, want to elaborate that, but that is a good, safe scale. So let's say if I'm in the key of E, I could play an E minor pentatonic scale, which would be maybe... So that sounds great. I could even add a blues note in there every now and then, that little flatted fifth. In fact, let's get into a little bit better key. Let's get maybe the key of A. Just a minor pentatonic with an added blues note. Now, one thing to keep in mind though, Brian, very important. If let's say I'm in the key of A, and the chords in an A blues are an A, a D, and an E, right? So a common mistake is to play the A minor, the A minor pentatonic. That'll work over an A blues. And when we get to the D chord, I'll play a D minor pentatonic. Fail, won't work. Over the E chord, I'll play an E minor pentatonic. Not going to work. We're in the key. You want to play the pentatonic scale over the key that the song is in. Okay, not over the specific chords within that. So over the A blues, this A minor pentatonic sounds great over the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. I'm playing the same scale, A minor pentatonic, over all 3 of those. You see how I did the pentatonic, the same scale. I didn't move the scale. I didn't go to the different things. I kept the same scale over all 4 chords, and it sounded good. If you move it to the individual chords within it, it's going to sound lousy. It doesn't work that way. What about a lengthwise arpeggio to cover the fretboard and get to the high end? Great. Always a good idea. So if I'm in A... So over A, I could do a little arpeggio. Then I could do the same thing. So you can use an arpeggio to get you places on the neck, higher or lower. So sometimes our arpeggios are great little tricks you can use to move yourself around in the basic blues form. When is the best time to use the blues note and when to use bends? All right, the best, well, when we're in a blues setting, which is not every setting, let me be very clear on that. So if I use a blues note when I'm in a country song or in a jazz song, is not going to work, and folks are going to look at you funny and you're going to get fired. Don't do that. But if I'm in a blues setting and I want that bluesy sound, then I can use it on the third with the flatted third. I could use it on the flatted third going up to the fourth. That works great. I could use it from the fourth to the fifth. I can use it to the flatted fifth. I'm bending from the fourth to the fifth. That was one. I could use it from the flatted third to the regular third. I can use it maybe from the sixth to the flatted seventh. So that would be kind of where I would use the bends. As far as when to use the blues note, you don't want to land on it. I want to use it to go down to the fourth or up to the fifth. I don't want to go. I don't want to land on it. I just want to season it. So I'm just going to go. There's the B flat. That's the flatted fifth. That blues note. So I got to be really careful. It's too sharp sometimes, so I don't want to. So I can kind of bend to it. I can use different techniques to go here and there with it, but I don't want to land on it specifically. Arthur is asking, do I know of a resource that could use to verify one's knowledge of chords or scales? That's a good thought. I don't know. There are some, and I used to know stuff, but I would maybe do ear training, just type in ear training apps or something like that, or ear training websites, Arthur, and see what comes up. And a lot of times the ear training stuff, they will train you on scales, intervals, and then chords. All right, that's enough of that. I'd like to thank Diane, our wonderful moderator, my lovely wife, our producer, and it is a joy getting to help you out, learn all these different things. We'll do some more blues stuff next time. Next week, we'll have another live lesson. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Keep up the great work in your learning. We will see you guys next time.